Hey, you tourists, it's your boy Domination. This is Back in the Basics. You're gonna do some Cyber Do Text, baby. Man, that us back. You know what it is. The all the place, 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 all the place go get it. All the place, all the place, all the place go get it. 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 Yeah, it's right back in basic. You're gonna do some Cyber Do Text, baby. Man, that us back. You know what it is. Know this, know this, know this, it is. Real man rise up. Fake man rise down. Real women rise up. Fake women rise down. Right to right preach and preach on. And today's topic we're going to talk about is I got to show y'all something that it's going to wake y'all up. That explains why they call the dark ages. That explains why they call it the ice ages. That explains why they call many of these, whatever you want to call them. All it is nothing but Middle East or Middle East land or olive oil color or green and black. That explains a lot. But I want you to look this stuff up and listen to it. Listen to it real good. Is it true black people really run parts of England or Spain or Italy or Russia all over Europe during the Dark Ages? Look at this up because I don't condone what Israelites are saying. Because a lot of times they gotta, they could be ignorant and hypocrite to do some stuff they spread. But at the same time, some can be good, some can be bad. But they got to be careful because a lot of times they don't want this truth to actually coming out. So if you do, make sure it's not just other races of all over the world. It's all races done this. So let's look at this video and explain what actually they trying to say, what they trying to do. Watch this.
Septimius Severus ruled. Black people began to rule the Roman Empire. That's why from 193 AD time period. Then 1453, the fall of Constantinople by Ottoman Turks. That's when the Europeans began to go up. That's when the Europeans began to come back in power, the Caucasians, because what? They dwelt in an area called the Caucasus Mountains. So remember this. Rome, 193 AD, they come back in power in 1453. So the project is iconoclasm. That means breaker of images. So we're going to read through these books for 10 minutes. Okay. We're going to go to a book called The Icon, page 126. That's right, that's a lot of pages. A lot of pages. Real quick. We're going to relate this back to the Bible. So, page 126, right here. I'm going to show the pictures and I'm going to pass it down. So, everybody pass it on, all right? Right here, you're going to see dark images of Jesus Christ and his mother. The images of the prophets and the apostles, they were always painted dark-skinned people. It was the time of 1853 when they started to paint over them as Caucasian people. But they were always painted as dark people. And that's what I'm going to show you in all these books. So a lot of these images were produced before the Renaissance. Now we're going to go to page 155. Page 155. I'm going to show you. 155. Now, I want you to look at this, and we're going to start from right here. Notice right here, you're going to pass it around. Notice right here, you're going to see a dark image. You're going to see a dark image right here. You're going to see he was painted dark. But notice around him, they painted what? A lighter image. See it? Yeah. It's dark right there, and around him, you're going to see a light. So pass it around the platform. See? Now, the next book, since we got a little time, the next book is going to be Art Treasures of Russia. This book right here, you're going to see more images of the prophets, and all of them being painted as dark-skinned men. Because a lot of times in class, in history, we always learn, when we see people like Septimius Severus, Charlemagne, the Anglo-Saxons, we always see them as these were great, famous Caucasian men, when these were really black men that ruled. Rome, the Byzantine Empire, was ruled by black men. So now, go to page 37. Page 37. And this one, right here, you see the Archangel Michael in the middle, Jesus Christ right next to the angel. What color are they painted? They painted very dark. But in many books after 1453, they painted white. Why? You had famous iconoclasts, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello, Three Ninja Turtles. They were hired to paint over these images. When I went to Rome and the Vatican, before the 16th chapter, he was hired to paint biblical characters, Caucasian men. Why? So that when a lot of people begin to read the history of the Israelites and Jews, they would think that they were Caucasian. That's why. That's history. Now, go to page 78. Page 78. Page 78. So pass it around. Oh, it's right there. This here is a scene from the Bible called the Transfiguration. And when you see the prophets, you're going to see them as men of color. Notice here his garment is white, but the skin complexion on the prophets, they're all dark-skinned men. Because when you read the scriptures, you always read about the prophets. They always describe themselves as dark-skinned men. And our forefathers, black men, they painted them as an image of being men of color. But what happened? Remember this. 1450, the Renaissance. So now, we're going to go to Spain, history, and art. We're going to go to page 60. I want you guys to look at this. Now, these women are what color? White. What color are their fingertips? Black. What happened? They got the fingertips dipped in chocolate? No. What did they do chocolate? They were hired to paint over the images. Why are their fingertips black, but their skin is white? Because they had iconoclasts. 1453. Paint over these images. When I went to the Louvre in Paris, a lot of biblical images throughout the museum, white. Then there was a back room. And when I went inside that room, I seen a lot of dark-skinned images. I seen icons. And I was like, Dad, they got all these images in the back room, but in the open air, when you're walking through, you see all these images, Caucasian men, famous Caucasian men, you would think. But in the back room, smaller area, you see images that, what I'm showing you, dark images. Alright? So, where's the book, the icon? Right when you finish, pass it back up. There's something I want to read. I'm not going to be able to go through every page. Now, I'm going to show you Queen Elizabeth. No problem. Queen Elizabeth, I'm going to show you something. Page 77. I'm going to show you right here. Right here is Henry VIII. Right there. Go to the page where it says the icon process. Right here is King Henry VIII. King Henry VIII, if you type it on Wikipedia, you're going to see Caucasian man. That's what you're going to see, Caucasian man. This is Henry VIII. He's a black man. Famous king, black man, where you see them as Caucasian man. Guess who this is in the middle? Queen Elizabeth I. She's a black woman. This is Queen Elizabeth I. What happened? 1453. Whitewashed all the images. That's what happened. They whitewashed their history. So pass that around. So now we're going to read them. Just right in the beginning. Almost. Read this part where he says, it may seem scary, right? Wait, no, something iconoclasm. It's iconoclasm. So it's Venetian, looted in 1204. Right. And the sack by the Turks in 1453. Remember I said the Ottoman Turks sacked the Byzantine Empire in 1453. Are the main reasons why only 33 icons have survived in Constantinople. Right? It may seem daring, therefore, to write an entire chapter on the icons of the capital, right? Yet the situation is not quite so hopeless. The situation of a lot of these icons with dark-skinned people, it's not so hopeless. Why? Because there are still some images that survive. That's why they're able to show you these dark-skinned images. They didn't whitewash every painting because it was too many. It says icons existed not only as panel paintings, right, but also as frescoes and wall mosaics, right? Some of which have emerged from layers of whitewash. They've emerged from what? Of whitewash? Layers of whitewash. That's why when I showed you that Christian woman, she had an image around her. She was all painted white, but her fingertips were black. Why? Because a lot of times they didn't finish whitewashing these images. Now that's all I wanted. We're almost finished, bro. Almost finished. This is page 116. Guess what this is? Spartacus. This is found in Tel Aviv, 1954. You like it? But why do we always see them as Caucasian men? Whitewashed. That's why. This is Spartacus. You have to look. And one more. Go to page 77. This is the Oxford, oldest English university. The Oxford Illustrated for Medieval Europe. We're going to go to page 77. And we're going to look on the wall. Oh, 177. I'm sorry. 177. Isaiah, Daniel, King David, and Daniel, Hosea, John, and King David. What color are they painted? Brown. Brown, black, right? Brown men. Guess when this was before 1453? This is the remarkable windows at Augsburg Cathedral. So you guys can pass that around. Here you go. Now we're going to read one scripture to show why it happened in history. Okay, thank you. First Maccabees. In the Holy Bible, we have a book called the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha was taken out of the Holy Bible in the 1700s by the Protestant Church. The Apocrypha, you can get a King James Version Bible, 1611, you'll see the Apocrypha in it. This Bible has the Apocrypha in it. It cost me a great deal of money. It has it. It's still in it. So read first Maccabees 1. We're going to read about Alexander the Great, and we're going to read about what the Greeks did when they took the records of the Bible. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that. Alexander, the son of Philip, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, right? Smitten Darius, king of the Persians. Remember, Alexander's forefather was Philip of Macedon. Now jump to verse 9 about what happened. You're going to see what happened when the Greeks. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. What about you? And evils were multiplied in the earth, because what the Greeks were doing, it was all against the Holy Scriptures. So go to 1 Maccabees 3:48. We're going to show you what the Greeks did. The Greeks took the records of the Israelites, and then there's something they did. First Maccabees 3:48. Listen to what the Greeks did. It's iconoclasm, breaking images. That's nothing new. The Greeks took the records of the Israelites and they painted over them as white men. You can see right here. And laid open the book of the law. The book of the law is the Holy Bible. Wherein the heathen is talking about the Greeks, because this is when Alexander, this time Antiochus. But it's from chapter 1, it's talking about Alexander the Great. Chapter 3 goes in the time of Antiochus. He came out of the line of Seleucus, one of Alexander the Great's four generals. Wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their image. That's what they did. They took the records of the Israelites, and what they do? Paint the likeness of their images. Here it is in this called Our Living Bible. Israelite priests painted black men. These are Jews, black men. But what did the Greeks do? They painted over. So I'm sorry, that was it. If you guys have any questions, please ask them now. Alright? Any questions?
Was this only in America that they really did this?
No. They did this in Europe.
That question's irrelevant. He's not talking about
When I
that.
say only in America, I mean are there more pictures that are shown throughout the world that do have darkness?
Well, that's what he's talking about.
Right. That's exactly what I was showing. Because this book, Art Treasures of Russia. In this book, Art Treasures of Russia, you see dark skin images all over throughout Russia. Because when you look up the history of slavery, they took a lot of slaves from Russia. Why were slaves in Russia? Because black people ruled Russia at one point in time. The reason why. Yeah, a lot of these areas in there. Because the reason why they call it the Dark Ages is because dark people ruled. So they call it the Dark Ages. That's why. But when they came back in power, 1453, they overthrew everything. Any other questions?
Henry VIII. No, this was first. You talking about England?
Exactly. Any other questions? No other questions? I know you got questions. What's your question?
You're basically saying all the rulers and according to that, all the prophecies were all black, all dark skinned.
But you know what? That explains it. That explains a lot how black community got out here. That explains a lot how Europeans and Asian brothers and sisters and Latinos, Middle East, and Jews, Native American. That explains a lot. I really do believe this. I'm going to leave this out before I go, but I'm not going to leave this out. It was happened 1,000 and 300,000 of years ago that humanity started beginning of Africa. That's what some people will say that. And it started out from these Homo sapiens. That's what it says. And all the rest of it, and homo habits and all that, a lot of other more, when that's when it became of people become animalistic and humanistic. You can say that much. They trying to say of a modern human being having sex with a modern certain animal. This is why they say that people have an animal instinct. We act like animal instinct. That's why all races do this. But if you notice it, somehow when the ice was led out to hit over there in Ice Age, somehow Caucasians lost their skin. I don't know how, but if you froze a person for so long, their skin started patterning. It patterned them off. Their skin. It went from a dark Caucasian to light Caucasian tannin to red Tartasian. That explains why Caucasian tannin their skin. That explains a lot. With different eye color, hair color, and certain brain size. That's why Caucasians do believe that they're more brain sizement of brain, more smarter and more smarter than the way of having think ahead of way of the races. That's why they say that. And Asian people got two different sizes, 2 inches of brain because with high swelling and high swimming cheekbones. Then they trying to say the black brain is more like a size of an inch brain as an inch brain of a peanut. They're trying to say black people are stupid. That's what they're saying. And it got something to do with that. So they put the monkey skull and put it right next to the black skull. And they put the human skull right next to the European. This is how this scientific racism was started. Knowing damn well if you put an animal skull and human skull, it don't even match. This is why they come up with this, because they don't want people to know whites came out of black folk. That explains a lot. Now, this is the truth. You got to look at it. That explains a lot why Caucasian. They separate 2 Caucasians, light Caucasian, dark Caucasian. That explains a lot. With the delicate skin and delicate skin, they got smoother skin, and dark Caucasian got rougher skin and gruffed up skin. It means dirty whites. This is why that Italians and Irish and Jews and Greek and last but not least rednecks that define them as dirty whites. White Americans, they refer to them as clean white Americans as dirty white Americans. You can say that much. And the European stocks mixed with Mongol is preferred to them. They got German, and white Americans were non-German. See, that's why they come up with this Aryan race. But they even said Aryan race is dark complexion of dark. They even said this. And that swastika, that comes from Hindu. That swastika, they borrowed that stuff. It looked like a broken down four corners, broken side cross. This is why they put the goddamn cross, because they can't notice it. And notice they put the red and black. How can people say they hate black, but yet you wearing the color red? No, you wearing the color black, then red, from Native Americans to black. Or they say to Native Americans is red and black. Black is black people. And they even said that blue is Caucasian or even black people. Because I'll never forget when my uncle died, his skin started paling blue, and then he was blooming, and his skin was blooming. He was blue. He was blue when he was frozen in the freezer. And he was a dark skinned complexionist. That explains a lot. Why they drown the African babies. They even said that I got a teacher telling me that, see you later, beta alligator, at the wild crocodile. I never forget that day when I went to school. And I always wonder, why are they telling me this? Then come to find out when I got a little older, they used to throw African babies and throw them to the goddamn alligator swamps. They used to did that. It's because it got something to do. Black is the first color. It's misunderstood and stood of that color in anybody. But they know damn well in the early days, blacks or white people were black. This is why white people try to imitate an imitation of black. trying to do. That's when the word wigger came from. And you always have to wonder what the term nigger meant. Nigger is just another word for they trying to say black people are dead race, and it has something to do we performing of black magic. And someday we couldn't communication with the dead, communication with the loved ones, and we can rise up from the ashment to the deadment of the grave. I'm telling you, you can look this term up, the word nigger or nigga. This is why they use this term, and it got something to do with a form of black magic. Black magic and white magic is pagan gods. Pagan. That explains a lot for sorcery and witchcraft. That is pagan god. And then in this voodoo and also the other things, black spells and all that, that's been form of black magic. That explains a lot. That explains a lot. When they call themselves Christian, you can cast a spell on yourself and spell on other people, especially the music they listen to. If you don't believe me, you hear this a lot. This is why black men, it's important they need to control their sperm. There's a real reason why they come at black men pretty hard. There's a real reason. Because they think we're more larger and larger men than any other race of men. That we can track more race of women than anybody. If you notice it, or it's just me, it's always that we need to be careful though. But if you got to ask yourself this, but our people do the same thing with this light skin versus dark skin. Light skin is close as European, dark skin is close as black. This is why it explains a lot. And you hear these phrases that if black step back, because they telling black people they need to step back because nobody wants them back. So they got to step back because they in the way. And this is why they call brown, they stick around. They stick around and they're going to be around for the very beginning of the time. And this is why they call Asian, they mellow. They mellow out, they chilling. Nobody bothers them, nobody messing with them. And that's why they call white people that if you're white, you're all right. It does make sense why they call these other races and other races of color. And they broke all these different racial scales of different race of scale of skulls. From Caucasian, that's white, and in Ethiopian, that's black race. They say Malay race is brown race. Then they say, Mongol is yellow race. And they said American is a red race. That explains a lot. And I understand it now. This is why people judge based on certain different shades they got, the certain eye color, the color of hair. They judge based on certain language you speak. From Spanish to German to Russian to Hebrew to English, all the whole nine, even African language. That explains a goddamn lot. Even people speaking Chinese and Japanese. That explains a lot. They just slaving black folks for nothing, and they come to find out now. I understand why. Not only that, did you know that the original term slave is come from Slava people? Did you know that? When you say Slava and Slava and Slavic, it sounds like the same meaning. So how can people say that? Then white race, the white slavery came in. Remember, a lot of people don't know the Democrats and Republicans was the original red and blue. A lot of people don't know that. The Democrats and Republicans was red and blue. That's why they show the red and that's why they show the blue. I always wonder, why are they always showing these colors? Even showing the black and white. They always showing that in the damn Mason board with a Mason checking fucking board. They always show that. I guess white is mean the Ku Klux Klan and black is the Black Panthers. That does make sense. That does make sense. And that explains why feminists or feminazis, they got the same fucking mindset with Hitler. Because they're trying to make sure that black women won't produce life to bring in babies in this world. Because they know black women was the mother civilization over there in Africa. That explains a lot. That explains why all this stuff been going on. That explains it. How many people know that Rome, they used to call the city of Esau? How many people know that? Edomite. How many people know that? All Edomite is European dominate over there in Rome. But they were dark Europeans at that damn time. How can people say that? Come on, they don't fool me. And yet we've been taught like that. And we're the damn slave boats that brought everyone out here. That explains a lot. Some say that Noah built the Noah's Ark and put all the animals there and the people to get the flood out because they're going to flood all the rest of the people of this bad elementization of the world. And it separates 3 different races, the black, white, Latino, Asian. It did all these other races. That explains a lot with this scientific racism bullshit. The term, they always use a term like cracker. Cracker come from the whip and the whip of the goddamn slave. But the original term cracker is basically that they flash and whip when they hit the goddamn slave so goddamn bad it broke the whip of the slave. It whipped the slave off of the back. That explains a lot with these damn terms. And peckerwood, they pecking up the woods. They hunted. They looking for hunting and gatherization, gather of food. They hunted for food. That explains a lot when we hear these phrases, these terms, and they don't know what it means. Please, people, educate yourself to understand. This is why racism was happening in the first place. All racism is science. All it is scientific study of humanity and humanity to depopulation, the population of the world. That's what racism is all about. It's about computer instructing men to compete who bring the most wealth. Is it black or white, Asian, Latino, Middle East? It's all about that. I feel bad when they ask those Mexicans that what race do you classify, do you mark with? And you know most of them said European. Some of them say Hispanic or Latino. Latino is not a race. It's a cultural heritage. Anybody could be white Latino, black Latino, and Asian Latino. I mean, but it's really brown. But you have to wonder. You have to wonder sometimes. You have to wonder. They're descendants of Native Americans, right along with Europeans and blacks. That explains a lot. That explains why white folks, they broke them in 2 groups, but actually 3 with Ham and Shem, Hamitic and Shemitic, and Aryan. That explains why. That explains why they buy into this. That explains why they brought black people to group with this African American and black American and African. Well, they don't make no fucking sense. What they're trying to say, you got to connect to the bloodline in order to be an African. For the trace of bloodline, the trace of ancestry, where the humanity they start the human remain. When you African American, basically say you're conquered American. You conquer and don't conquer anything in the world. And black American means you're the real indigenous people of this fucking land, the Negro. That's why, what do you think Martin Luther King, when he meant 100 years later, the average everyday Negro is still language and color in the court of American society and being exiled in his own damn land. Martin Luther King said this in the damn 60s. I didn't know what the hell he meant. Then come to find out, that's what he meant. And looking back at it, we should have listened to this quote. What are you trying to say? We're the real native people in this land. This is your land. And it's sad that we stepping in our own land and we took advantage of that and everybody else. Stop all this foolishness right now. This slavery shit has got to fucking end. And this so-called slavery, because all it does is it deny the birth accusation of humanity over there in Africa. And it started off from the Garden of Eden. That explains a lot. This is why there's so much black church. If you notice it, black community are the only people who are religious people of the world. But every other race is not religion like that. Let's be honest about that. Let's be upfront. And civil rights ain't done a damn thing. Because they refuse to tell black people the truth. Tell them the truth. Why this stuff is taking place. Tell them the truth. They put a prey on us. To hoping that that nothing we can't find out that just we can't take the heart and take the anguishment of the truth. That explains a lot. I've been lied to for so many years, from whites and Latinos and Asians, and I had to look it up for myself, and it does make sense. It makes sense that they trying to say that not only black people are the tribe of Ham, they're saying we come from the tribe out of Shem and Chapet. White people are the Chapet and Asians people are the damn sham, right along with Middle Eastern Jews, and that explains why Ham is nothing but is Egyptian, African, and Nigerian, and all this other rest of the stuff. That explains a lot. And whites and Asian came a part of the tribe of Ham. You got Asians came from a tribe of Japhet and Ham. Whites came out of not only and Ham came out of the Shem. Even though they are the Japhet, that's whites, and Ham are the Asian people. So that explains a lot, people. Please, people, do your research, understand, and you understand why there's so much racism taking place. Because once of all, so understand, know what yourself, and know this organization, know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And it's all organization, and it once begins us all, and it all beginning with. That's all I gotta say about that. It's your boy Domination. This is Back of the Basics. You're gonna do since I do text, baby. Until next time, all right, peace, and I'm out.